Good afternoon, everyone. This is Travis Merritt from Rowlett Fitness Revolution in Rowlett, Texas. One of the things I'm going to go over with you today is what we call hip hinging. Now, anytime you do a squatting motion, even a deadlift motion in some cases, you need to learn what is called hinging the hip. This is going to save you a lot of knee strain, a lot of injury. This is going to help keep you from getting injured and actually help continue in our leg series to develop athletic toned thighs safely and effectively. Now let me kind of go over what hip hinging is, and then I'll show you why I've got this set up here that's kind of that is going to help teach this. Now when a lot of people do a squat, for example, we're going to really pick on the most basic exercise there is out there. I'm going to turn to the side so you can see this. A lot of people get in a nice good position, all right? They've got their hips pulled underneath. They've got the glutes flexed, thighs tight. They've got a great posture, good spinal alignment. And what they're going to do is you see this a lot of times with anyone holding a weight, or especially holding a weight on their back, is when they squat down, they do this. Now this little motion to an untrained eye doesn't seem too bad. But honestly, what is now happening is when I'm bending with my knees first, I'm taking all this weight, all the weight in my torso, all the weight they're going to have on my back, all the weight they're going to have on my hips, and I am now transitioning that weight to my knees. The problem is if you do that, you're taking the weight and you're placing it all on the knee joint first. That's what you're telling the body to do. Now, the knee joint is strong to an extent. You don't need it handling all this weight over the course of reps and sets and months and years, because eventually what's going to happen is you're going to get a lot of knee wear and tear, you're going to get a lot of shear force, and honestly, that's something we're trying to avoid, okay? So here's how you avoid this. Here's the proper way to initiate a squat that's going to save a lot of trouble for your knees and actually continue to develop a well-athletic toned thigh and really get the glutes and the posterior chain. How you do this is you do what's known as hinging, or you breaking the hip, all right? Out of this perfect straight alignment here, what you're going to do is instead of initiating the squat with your knees first, initiate it with the hip. This little motion right there is all it takes. If you notice my back's nice and flat, this little motion, hinging the hip out, when you're pushing your hips backwards, now you're telling the body, okay, take all this weight that I have and put it into the glutes, the thighs, lower back, where it should be. Now when you do that and you start the motion, hinging the hip first, and you start going down, all this weight is placed into the glutes, the hamstrings, the upper thighs, all into your posterior chain. If I were to start the motion the other way, the incorrect way, you see I'm very upright, but you see how far my knees are going over my toes. I'm getting a lot of shear force over here. In time, it's really going to hurt your knees. So you want to push hips out, then squat down. If you notice, my knees aren't even going over my toes. All this weight's being placed back here. And what you're going to feel is you're not going to feel knee pain anymore. You're actually going to feel the glutes and the upper thighs actually doing the work. Now, a lot of people have trouble initiating this exercise. So what I've done is I've taken this technique from Dave at resistancebandtraining.com, and I've got all the information in the links below. And I've used this technique over time, and it's made a world of difference helping someone to learn how to hip hinge. What we've got here is you've got a basic band, and I attached it to a series of weights, okay? This band right here is a red band. It's roughly anywhere from about 15 to 25 pounds. It's just enough resistance to help give your body something to fight against and actually help you pull back. What we're going to do is for this motion, I've taken this, I've set it on, attached to some weights, set it on a risers, put it slightly below hip level, because when you're squatting down, we are going to be going lower. So you're going to take this, get in the band, and you're going to set this right on the hips, okay? Now, with resistance band training, we can go into a lot more of the techniques of it, just for today, keeping things brief and simple. Walk forward until you feel a little bit of stress and pressure. Notice how this is sitting on the hips. And what's going to happen is you won't really want a knee hinge. It's going to want to instantly pull you back into the squat. This right here, this little motion right here, is how you can learn, just to check yourself, is how you can learn just to sit back into the squat right off the bat. This little motion right here will help teach you how to squat correctly. This little band will solve a lot of the problems. Now, I know resistance bands have been thought of more as an accessory exercise, Guys, no, they're not. I've got bands that go into 150 pounds, and I promise you it is enough to give the biggest and strongest guys a workout. I use them pretty much every day in my training. Now, trust me, pick one of these up. This does help. This will help you to continue to learn how to properly engage the hips, how to learn how to squat correctly, and build the strong athletic thigh. Now guys, if you have any questions, please check the link below. Feel free to contact me, email me. I'll be more than happy to help you in any way I can. Again, this is Travis Merritt from Fitness Revolution in Rowlett, Texas. Hope you have a wonderful day.